Chris here from the Jewel Writers Archive. I'm here with Skip Simpson. He's an amazing colorist from the SheRa and HeMan minicomics. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved with working with Mattel on these minicomics.
Okay, well, I was working at a studio with a fellow named Lee Nordling, who was the orchestrator of all of it. Mattel hired him to take on the project of creating some comic art. And it started with one sample, and I was working with him, and I was doing some illustration and some painting, and he invited me to take a stab at doing the the very first test. And it was submitted. Mattel loved it, and then we were off and running. And they quickly ordered, I think, 5 more to start with, and that was it.
Now, how did you go about color selection for a project like this?
Color correction?
Selection.
Oh, collection, sorry. Well, we had some reference, and it was frankly before the toys were produced.
Right.
So there was some prototyping going on, and I can't even remember if they had a HeMan at the time, but they gave me some reference, and that was what I used for the coloring. And the artist who did the pencils got maybe the same reference.
Now I saw in the panel, it looked like you were basically working with like a celluloid to do for the pen work.
Well, here's the process. It involved, there was a team of people. There was the writer, then the penciler, then the inker, and then somebody that did the lettering, who was always, Dan Sakai did the entire thing, and then the colorist. So when I got the art, it was a board about this big that was inked. It was the final drawing. And you painted these at size, right? And then, yes.
Which is such an amazing feat in that little square.
Yes.
To fit all that color
And there was a couple reasons for that, I'll tell you. But I was also working at a studio, and I had access to a stat machine. So I actually I got it all together by shooting the artwork, and also shot a cell. So the black plate became from the overlay. And then I had to paint on that. So what I did is I took vellum, which is a thick tracing paper, and I spray mounted it onto the stat. So I then had a surface that would take, it was a opaque watercolor, gouache is what it's called. And so I used that with a brush, and I had the line underneath so I could follow that, so that's how I was able to get it all trapped perfectly. And I was a fanatically accurate person, had to be exact. And then I just started painting them.
I think it's just so fascinating that you use like an animation technique to make these mini comics.
I guess so. Yes, it's similar. But that was the final art. And it was 4 on a board. So there were 4 boards. And it was done in real time. Like I just start painting it, and often I paint the characters first, and then just starting, I'm adding the backgrounds, and I'm doing it as quick as I can, because often I'd get the artwork and I'd have maybe 2 days to turn in the final. So is that why you used a lot of gouache and watercolor? Well, gouache, watercolor, it had to be certain thickness, and I figured out how to do this. And Lee, who put this together, claims I invented a new process to do this, I guess. But it all worked perfectly fine. It would, and I'd have to paint quickly, because otherwise, if it was too wet, it's going to bubble. But I learned how to do it very fast. And just painted them, and I never changed. I never went back and repainted something. I just made it the best I could, and that would be the final. Well, it doesn't look like anything needed to be repainted quite. There's no time. There was, and I didn't have time to even think about. I would just paint it, and if you look at the first ones, I think they're kind of simplistic, flat color and all,
Right.
but it went into about 3 years. We did, I think, 3 runs of different.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so as new ones were created, they'd hire for more,
Right.
get the writer working on it, and then I would
all
get.
in sequence, or were there gaps in between?
I think there were, but I have no recollection
Right.
of what that was.
It's been a minute.
But it was over 3 years of Mattel
Yeah.
toys.
That's fascinating.
And so as I did it, I got a lot faster, better.
Right.
And for me, the ones near the middle, near the end, are the
Yeah.
best ones. And that was
Do you
it.
have a favorite one that you worked on that you enjoyed the most that you remember?
I can't name a single favorite, but I actually did 40
Wow. 40 of them.
40 masters.
Wow.
And I think 12 SheRa. I did the
Yeah.
SheRa, all the SheRa too.
Yeah, I love the SheRa ones personally. I've got the Swift one. Yeah. But
Yeah, the SheRa, I think it was around, I was working on SheRa as well as masters. So if you want to, yeah, those are and that kind of developed, there's one of the first ones.
these are one of your, this is one of your early-
I don't know, they're in order, but like this, then I wanted to do more pastel
Yeah, I love the pastels.
for girls.
It brings out a real storybook quality.
Yeah, so that was, all the color is all my decision. I didn't,
So that's
nothing, no, they
amazing.
never, there was frankly no time to send notes back or
Right.
something like that.
Right.
It was just what I gave them, and they were very happy with everything
Yeah.
they got. And I ended up doing all of them, plus 4 other lines.
Okay.
So,
Now, if fans want to see more of your work, they can pick up this book pretty much at
I
any
think at
bookstore.
Amazon,
Yeah.
but they're not. I don't think they're here at the show, but they're.
I haven't seen them here for sale.
Yeah, but
I definitely own a copy of this at home, so it's super exciting. I wish I
okay.
brought it because
I would sign it for you, but
Yeah.
I'll be here next year, I guess. This was my first year, as I said, and yeah, that was it's a lot of fun.
So if you fans, if you want to support Skip and see his amazing work from these mini comics, be sure to get the HeMan and the Masters of the Universe mini comic collection. It is a fantastic book full of fantastic stories and beautiful, beautiful art. Very unlike, I think, anything that you'll see today produced. So,
This was one of them. This was the last one we did.
this was the very last one.
I think so, and that was penciled and inked by Bruce Timm.
Oh, okay. Bruce Timm, of course, who went on to do Batman the Animated Series.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
speaking with us.
Thank you for being
I'm
here.
so glad you could be here
You
and
bet,
share this awesome artwork and awesome memories with us.
All right, awesome. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
By the magic of the Sunstone, you're tuned into the Jewel Riders Archive.